Today I'm going to show off what could be the best vintage-inspired dive watch release of 2025. Let's get into it! Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. Today I get to show off another beautiful watch by a company called Baltic. Now it feels like this brand has been around for ever. In actual fact, they've only been around 8 years. But over the years, this brand has set the bar when it comes to quality, value for money watches, but also they're one of the best brands that nails vintage inspiration. Yeah, if you want a new watch that looks like an old one, maybe from the 40s, 50s, 60s, Baltic have done a fantastic job of making their watches look vintage without directly copying anyone. Now, their dive watch, the Aquascaphe, which came out around 7 years ago, is pretty much their signature watch, even though they've done a ton of other watches since then. But recently, the Aquascaphe has had a bit of a makeover. New refinements and modernized changes to give it that more desirability in 2025. They've also brought out this Mark II in 2 different sizes. I wanted to have a good look at the 37mm. These new ones come in 4 different colorways, and I've opted for the navy blue one. Disclaimer! Thank you. Baltic sent this watch into me and I do not have to send it back. But anyway, let's show you the watch, tell you my thoughts, give you my wife's opinion at the end, and let's get a load of some lovely vintage inspired diving heaven. Are you Aquascaphe ready? Let's go! And ladies and gentlemen, here is the Baltic Aquascaphe Mark II. And doesn't she look pretty? Now I opted for the beads of rice bracelet option. There's a flat link bracelet option and also a rubber strap option, but I wanted to go all in vintage, and I knew having it on a bracelet would make the watch feel and look a bit bigger. But this Mark II certainly has some differences that has definitely pushed up the modernization. We now have crown guards, and the overall look, well, there's no faux vintage like the original. This looks more tooly, more tactical, but still pulls in those inspirations from the late 50s and early 60s divers. The overall stainless steel case is very classic in its profile. The lugs are pretty tiny. I do love how they curve down. Pretty much an all brushed steel affair, including the coin edging on the bezel. I guess the bracelet gives it a bit more blinginess, but I love the balanced looking dial. And the overall shape of the watch looks great. First impressions, it looks a beauty. Quick spec check! So as I said, I chose the 37mm option. You can get this in a 39. The thickness is 12.9mm. We've got a lug to lug of 45, and a key point, we've got a 20mm lug width, which just gives it that extra, I don't know, masculinity. Had it been an 18mm lug width, then the watch may have looked even tinier. We've got a beautiful domed sapphire crystal protecting the dial, screw down crown at 3 o'clock, with a screw down case back, and that gives this watch 200 meters of water resistance. The bezel is nicely brushed. The insert is actually flat sapphire, and that and the crystal, well, that's the only shiny parts to the case of this watch, and I think they've done a very good job with it.
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
The bezel itself, 120 click, unidirectional, lovely feeling, lovely twisting, no back play. Have a listen. Nice. So yes, I've got this beads of rice stainless steel. We've got easy open spring bars where you don't need a tool. Ironic that we have drilled lugs. Most straps and strap companies have easy open spring bars that you don't actually need drilled lugs anymore. The clasp has 2, 4, 6 micro adjustment holes. However, there is no on the fly extension. I'm not that bothered about it. I've never needed to adjust the size of my bracelets during the day, but if you are someone that likes a tight fit, you're probably going to wear this slightly loose. Anyway, solid end links, solid links. Overall, a very nice bracelet. Okay, let's look at the face.
Dial time.
And this is the big change with the Mark II to the Mark I. The original had a sandwich dial with a vintage loom at the bottom. This, even though it retains its three-dimensional look is because now we have ceramic loom blocks that are raised above the dial. To my eyes, it looks like the hour hand is slightly chunkier, which is fantastic. That means we're going to have a lot of loom. It looks to me that the outer part of the dial is slightly changed from the original as well. We now have 5-minute numeral markings. It just looks more of a precise tool to the original, which I don't know if that was something they wanted to go for. It just looks more refined and, like I said, yeah, proper tooly. This looks functionally ready for action, whereas the older one looked like it had been in action for some time. Overall, great dial.
Get your watch out.
So we've got loom on the hands, loom on those loom blocks, and we've got a loomed insert. Out of 10, how much does this puppy glow? Whoa, and I like this. Lovely colour, a nice blue, reminiscent to the old BGW9. I like that a lot. Powering this watch is a Miyota 9039, 24 joules, it's automatic, and sweeps away at 28,800 beats per hour. A lovely movement. Unscrewing the crown is very nice, very satisfying. You only got one position and that feels good. Set the time, push the crown in, screw it back in. Lovely experience.
Hello.
On my 6.5-inch wrist, and yes, this is what I've been looking for. A proper vintage-inspired, modern-made watch that just looks old, not only in terms of its design, but also its size. It's got that classic size to it, that original Submariner size. It is still very legible. The contrast of that navy blue with the all-white hands and loom block markers is very cool, and I really do appreciate that domed sapphire glass. I sized this to my wrist. It was very easy to size as well. Yes, I think I'm going to enjoy this a hell of a lot. So there we go, the Baltic Aquascaphe Mark II. What do you think? Well, I certainly think there's room for it in the watch market. Baltic have once again shown their might and their power when it comes to making a brilliant vintage-inspired modern-day watch. I love the shape of the case. I love the crown. I love the bezel grip. I love that dome sapphire. The dial is beautifully legible. The bracelet is very comfortable on my wrist. We've got a great 4 Hz automatic Miyota inside. What's not to like? To buy this watch on the Beads of Rice bracelet, it's going to cost around £613. If you want it on the rubber strap, I think it's around £560. Now, if you're going for the 37mm, I would recommend you get a bracelet with it. Having stainless steel in between those lugs just makes the watch that little bit bigger. On the strap, I would imagine that this watch is going to look significantly smaller. If you're going for the 39, well, I would still recommend the bracelet, but from what I've seen, the rubber straps look very good as well. Well done, Baltic. Thank you for not putting a date window on a dive watch. Hey, I like date windows. Shut up, you. So here it is, the wise views on the Baltic Aquascaphe Mark II. This is nice. It's simple looking and easy to read. I like the colour, but that strap is rubbish. Say it how you see it, wife. She just doesn't like a blingy bracelet. Gives her granddad vibes. Thank you so much to Baltic for sending this watch in. I think they're onto an absolute winner. I can see this being very popular. You can still buy the original. They've kept 2 references, I think. It's a very brave move, considering the Aquascaphe is such a signature watch to the brand. But I feel what they've done, the pretty good price, considering they assemble and they test their watches in-house. Definitely a fan of Baltic. If you've watched till the end, thank you for your support. And if you want to support even more, we've got a Patreon now. See the shows early, blooper reels, behind the scenes content, private group chat, and get your name credited at the end of every show like this. Lovely lot. But if I've got you for a few more minutes, and I hope I have, check out these hot watches. Cool, I mean, this is hot. But these are hot as well. Come on. Too hot to handle. Go on, click it. Click it.